Hello everyone, it is me, Sarah Jack here. Now today, I'm gonna do a storytime video because actually this came across my mind seconds ago and I felt like I need to share it right now, so let's get into it. So, back in probably grade 8, we had these really big lockers, and I'm sure you guys are all aware. We had lockers that were like really big for whatever reason. We didn't have small lockers. I was in grade 8 at the time, and for whatever reason, grade 8ers got the bigger lockers. And so basically, I've been telling the school office for months now that my locker was extremely cold, and it wasn't against a wall that was like from the outside. It was a wall that was connected to a classroom. But it was extremely unusually cold for whatever reason. So I've been telling the office for months, hey, you guys need to look at this, it's really cold, it's making my gym shoes cold, my feet are turning frozen because of this. And they're like, yeah, we'll look into it. Well, they never looked into it because they were too freaking lazy. So, I keep complaining to them and they don't do anything. And all of a sudden one day, I get off the bus in the morning. I come into school and it's all very crowded down the hallway where my locker was. And I didn't know what was happened. I thought somebody died, to be honest. And my friend comes over to me. She's like, Sarah, you gotta check out your locker right now. And I'm like, okay. And she's like, I was like, what happened? And she was like, your locker flooded. And I'm like, what? So I marched down the hallway, and I just look at my locker as there's a big circle of students surrounded my locker. My locker had flooded of water all the way to the tippy top. And it flooded the hallway and so there was a classroom right across from my locker, and it was full of it was a carpet floor. The carpet was sopping wet in that classroom. My locker had flooded all the way up to the point where it drained to the other lockers beside me and to the classroom across the hall. So I was like, what the hell do I do now? Because everyone has surrounded my locker. My stuff that was all in my locker was all over the floor. Back then we had to get really expensive calculators for math class. It was just one of those requirements. And and my calculator that probably was $200 was broken from all the water damage to it. My binder, my papers, all my pencil cases were ruined because of this water. And so I just remember looking to my friend and be like, what the fuck do I do now? All my stuff is ruined. And I only had some stuff, in my backpack, my homework or whatever. But, all my schoolwork was in this binder that was sopping wet from all the water. So I go to the office, and I'm like, I need help. And they're like, oh, what's wrong? And I'm like, and you could clearly see what was going on from down the hallway from the office. But, they're stupid and didn't do anything about it. And I'm like, my locker flooded. And they're like, oh, so that was your locker. And I'm like, yeah, the one I've been complaining about for months. And they're like, oh, sorry, we didn't have time to go look at it. And I'm like, if you guys looked at it a month ago months ago when I kept complaining about it, this probably wouldn't happen to my stuff. So I start getting very angry, and of course I'm in grade 8 at this point, so no one was having that. So they're like, okay, you need to calm down. And I'm like, calm down? My stuff is ruined. And so I basically had to grab all the stuff off the floor, which was really embarrassing. And I had to clean out my locker by myself because the school wasn't doing anything. So I clean up all my stuff, I go to the bathroom, and I just remember putting all my schoolwork underneath the hand dryer, thinking that would help. It didn't. It was still all sopping wet. And of course, the school bell rings, and I'm like, okay, well, fuck. I don't know what to do now because I have all this schoolwork that is sopping wet, and it's not like I could go to class with all this shit. So I shove everything into my enormous large backpack, and I stroll down the hallway. Now, you're probably thinking, Sarah, wouldn't your backpack get all soaking wet? It did, because of all the stupid stuff I had to carry around. So I go to my first class, and of course, for whatever reason, this teacher did not know what was going on. She's like, well, Sarah, you can't bring your backpack in here. It's, like, too big, because it was stuffed with all my stuff. And I had explained to her, my locker literally overflooded with water. So you might want to give me a break. And then she was like, oh, okay. I was like, do you have no sympathy at all? All my stuff is ruined. Like, this school did not care that my stuff was in that locker. So I carry on with the whole, all the students were looking at me because they knew it was my locker. And I had this enormous, backpack that was stuffed to the tippy top because of all my shit. All my gym stuff was ruined. It was a really bad day. And I just remember being so mad at the school because it was obviously their fault. There was no way I could avoid that. But I kept telling them, you need to fix this, and they never did. And I was like, Kate, great. That's just perfect. So I was just so pissed off. So I think at lunchtime, actually, of course my lunch got all squished at the bottom of my bag. So I had no lunch to eat. I was like, okay, great. So I stormed down to the office, and I'm like, listen, okay, you need to replace half the shit that was just damaged in my locker that you, messed up. And they're like, oh, we can't replace all things. I'm like, oh, you're gonna, because, I need, stuff. I need paper for my classes. I need pencils, because they were all fucking ruined. I need erasers. I need, dividers for my binder. I need a new binder. You guys can't just, let me deal with this on my own. This is half your responsibility. So they give me, a few paper and a whole bunch of other things, but the one thing I was really pissed off about was my calculator. My glory calculator I used every day for math. And guess what? They wouldn't replace that. And I'm like, why not? And they're like, well, it's too expensive, and you know what? That thing shouldn't be in your locker anyways. It should be in your backpack. And I'm like, it's in my damn locker with my binder that I would bring every day for math class. I thought it was safe in there. Apparently not. So I just spent that day just so pissed off, and people were asking me constantly, why aren't you why are you carrying all your stuff around? Oh, 'cause my locker exploded. Oh, my locker overflooded with water. Oh yeah, that was my locker. That's all I said all day, and I was so pissed off. I have a lot of memories from grade 8, and they're all not good, but they're great stories to tell, and that is just one of the tippy top ones for me. This actually reminds me of another topic from grade 8, because, grade 8 was a great year. Just to be clear, I am graduated now, so it's kind of just looking back on these, I can laugh about it, but in grade 8, these were serious subjects for me, because you know what, you're trying to get in, you're trying to fit in with the crowd, and it's kind of hard to do that when your locker exploded, and it's just very bad. So this story is actually pretty funny. So there was this girl, I'm gonna call her Shelly. So I think she went by Shelly because she didn't like her real name, and a lot of people do that. They change their name because they don't like their real name, which is totally understandable. But Shelly decides, just for whatever reason, her secret got out that her real name was Angel or something. I don't know. I don't think that was a bad name, but whatever. So Shelly's real name gets out, and all of a sudden, I'm getting called down to the office, block 2, which is my second class. And I'm like, I have very bad anxiety, so whenever I'm called down to the office for something, I think I'm in serious shit. And usually it's because I am in serious shit, because I'm a troublemaker. But like this time, I was like, I didn't do anything wrong this time. Why am I getting sent down? Those nerves, you know. So I go down to the principal, and the principal and me didn't have a good relationship, but whatever. I go down to the principal, and they're like, okay, did you tell so-and-so Shelly's real name? And I'm like, what? Like, what are you talking about? He's like, don't lie to me, like, you could tell me the truth. And I'm like, I'm confused, like, I don't even know Shelly's real name, like, why are you asking me? And then the principal tells me Shelly's real name, and then she keeps pressuring me, because our principal was a she keeps pressuring me to tell me the truth, and like, tell her the truth. And I'm like, I really don't know what you're talking about. Like, I didn't even know Shelly's real name until you told me 5 minutes ago. And then she frowned at me and groaned and said, okay, we'll go back to class, don't tell anyone. And I'm like, okay, I go back to class, and a couple of my classmates were getting called down to the office. And this other girl named, I forget her name at this moment, let's call her Chloe. So Chloe, I'm walking back to class, and she's just got called down, so she stops me in the hallway. She's like, well, like, what am I getting called down for? Like, obviously all of us are getting called down for something. And I'm like, oh, Shelly's real name got out. And Chloe's just like, I don't know Shelly's real name. I was like, no one does. But obviously somebody told somebody, and Shelly was really upset about it, so we all had to go call it down to the principal's office and like it was just such a stupid situation, because we all got called down and we didn't even know Shelly's real name. Like, no one did. It's like, I don't know if she's doing that for attention but it's funny because the principal all told us Shelly's real name. And it's just like, what's the point of that? If she didn't want her real name being outed, why would you tell students? But whatever, and then the situation was resolved at the end of the day that Shelly told one of her friends, and her friends told another friend, and it was just so stupid. Like, a waste of my time to go down to the principal's office, her accusing me of spreading this stupid rumor. It just, I have a lot of stories about this principal. Just, the principal was just nasty. She was a nasty bitch. It's just like, so many incidents happened in this school. It's unreal. Here's another one, because you know what, there's so many shit happened to me that year, and I don't know why. But I'm in gym class with my friend, and I think we're playing like dodgeball or something, so we're on teams, so we're waiting on the sidelines for our team to go. And this girl named Aubrey, I'm gonna call her, she's with the popular girls all across the gym. So me and my friend, we stay away from those girls because they're mean and we didn't want to be near them. So Aubrey, she's one of the guinea pigs of the popular girls, I thought. She was always just following them around and doing their dirty work. It kind of sounds like Mean Girls, where they're literally just mean girls. So we just stayed away from them. So Aubrey, she comes skipping across the gym, and she's fairly friendly. She just did all their dirty work for them, which is awful to do to one of your friends. So Aubrey comes skipping across the gym, and she says, so who do you guys think doesn't try and gym over there? And she points to her other friends, and I'm like, me being a stupid grade 8er, I've always been an honest person. So whenever somebody asks me a question, I give them an honest answer. So I say one of the lead girls of the group. And then Aubrey goes skipping back down to back to her friends and tells the lead girl what I had just said. And I'm like, oh shit. So she just sent Aubrey all the way to us to find out if I would snitch on one of the girls. And I did, because I'm an honest person. And I get in trouble for it because one of the lead girls goes to the principal and says, Sarah said this about me. Which, to be fair, I was set up from the beginning. They knew all well that I would say her, right? We never got along. So I get sent down to the counselor, I don't know, third block or whatever class was after gym. And, oh, just a stupid situation. So I get sit down, the counselor sits me down, and she's like, so why are you, picking on, I don't know, let's call her any name, Corn Pops, because that's what I can think of right now. So why did you say mean things about Corn Pops? And, I was just like, I didn't say anything mean about, Corn Pops. I was simply answering a question. And that's what I told her, and she said, well, that's not what I heard. I'm like, well, that's what I'm saying, and if you don't believe me, that's fine. Go ask my friend that was right beside me. And she starts, like, cussing me out, and she's just like, listen, like, you gotta tell the truth here. And I'm like, I don't know what this principal thinks I do, but I'm telling the truth. Like, I don't understand why they don't, I don't know. So, yeah, and the Corn Pops, you know what? She was a real high-class bitch, and she was trying to get me in trouble, and I was like, nope, not today. It's just, I've had a lot of incidents with mean girls, for whatever reason. So, it's just kind of normal at this point for me to expect something from these girls, and them trying to set me up. And I told the counselor that, and I'm like, these girls are trying to set me up. They asked Aubrey to come all the way to me to ask me a question that they knew I could get in trouble for. Just so many, I'm going to say this so many times in this recording, but there's so many incidents that happened grade 8 year. Just really bad. It's like back in grade 6, I'm still known for this. Even though I'm graduated, I'm still known for this. In grade 6, we had a program called DARE, which is a drug abuse resistant education, which basically means they teach us about how drugs are bad and alcohol is bad and how you don't drive and blah, 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 blah. Like, I think every grade 6 or whatever grade gets it. So, we had to write an essay about this whole experience. Are you gonna come? Yep, you are. Hello, Mom. Sorry about that, guys. My mom just came in and said goodnight. But anyways, yeah, so we did this DARE program, and we had to write an essay about it, and it was, actually, I love writing. That's one of my things. One of my strengths, I should say. So we had to write these essays about how drugs are bad, and alcohol, you shouldn't drive, like, just stuff like that, you know, simple stuff after we do the program. So my essay, because they do like an end and like a yearly wrap-up thing, and they pick like 3 students from all the grades, like all the classes, to read their essay in front of the whole grade. And mine so happened to be picked. So I go up on the stage, and well, actually, here I'm gonna do a little background info. So mine gets picked, and I'm like, okay, great. I'm gonna rewrite it so it's all nice and clean, and I can read it properly because my writing wasn't the nicest. So I rewrite it, and they all call us down to the gym where they're doing the big ceremony, I'm gonna call it. And I must have just forgotten to put the last 2 words of a sentence on the last sentence of the page. And I realized that in the audience when I'm just sitting and waiting. So I hadn't finished the last sentence, and I just wrote half of it, and I think I was in a rush. So I'm trying to get a pencil from somebody just to rewrite it, and then I just kept saying to myself, okay, just say this at the end, you won't forget it. So I get up on the stage, I'm doing great, I'm on the stage, and I'm doing great, and then I get to that sentence that I haven't finished. Now I'm getting panicking, because I know I haven't finished it, I don't know, I forgot what I was going to say, and my anxiety takes the best of me, and I faint. I faint right on my side, and it makes a big, loud, kaboom on the ground. And now, so, you're probably wondering, oh yeah, she passed out from the anxiety. Well, I was still conscious, believe it or not, but I just couldn't move my body. So I fainted, but I knew everything that was going on around me. So people were standing up and looking at me. People were laughing. People were just, they were just making, it was just so stupid. So the principal, they leave me for a good, maybe 3 minutes because they thought I was acting. They thought I was imitating what an alcoholic person would be doing if they were or a drug person would be doing, right? They thought I was just imitating what they would be doing. And it's just no, I actually fainted, but everybody thought I didn't. So then when one of the parents of the students came over, and she was a nurse, and they literally dragged me out of the gym. I am not kidding. They dragged me out of the gym, and they continue on with the ceremony. And I'm like, okay, great. They continue on, act like nothing happened. But just, oi, oi, oi. So I'm dragged out of the gym. I sit in the office. They call my mom. And so we get my school stuff from the classroom so I can go home, because obviously I wasn't feeling well. Now here's where it gets funny. They want me for the final photo of DARE. They do a big class photo. So they want me in the photo because they didn't want to miss me. And so I walk in with my 2 little pigtails. And I'm looking, I don't know if it's in the yearbook, and you could really tell I'm really out of it. You can tell that I have just been through some shit, because my face is just not having it. But I think the whole fun part about that experience is we all got a donut afterwards for being passing the program. And they let me have 2 donuts. And I was like, hell yeah, I got 2 donuts. And everybody else got 1 donut. Because they felt bad for me. And it's just stuff like that. I'm like, yep, that makes sense. I should get 2 donuts. And those 2 donuts were good. But yeah, and every year I got the same question. You're the girl who fainted at DARE, right? Yes, I am the girl who fainted at DARE. But I did an awesome speech, didn't I? Yes, and I made a memorable moment for everyone who was there. And years later, I will still be the person who fainted at DARE. I was known for that moment because it was so memorable to a lot of people. And I even put it as my yearbook memory in grade 8 when we were, because we would move schools from it would be a 5 to 8, school, and then we move into a 9 to 10, or 9 to 12 school. So, I put in my yearbook as my memorable moment as the girl who fainted in DARE. And you know what? I put it in my grade 12 memorable moment because everybody still reminded me, almost monthly, of that moment. So, yeah, just a lot of shit happened in that school. And I have probably 20 more stories I could share with you, but I'm going to save that for next podcast. But I think that's going to be it for this one. If you guys liked, please like and subscribe. And I will see you all next week. Okay, bye!